Hi, this is John again for Outstanding Poker. Today I've got a nice, simple, fairly short video on how to build your own heads-up display using the brand new Poker Tracker 4 software. So it is pretty simple, so let's get into it. So we go into HUD, Edit HUD Profiles, and if you want to just create one from scratch, you would just choose Options and New Profile and give it a new profile name. The only problem is if you do that, you're creating a HUD from scratch. For some reason, then you have to recreate or create new pop-ups to go with this new HUD profile, which is obviously going to be very time consuming. So the best way to do it is to just use the default and then just duplicate that, because then all the pop-ups that Poker Tracker 4 have created are already accessible through that profile. And I do think that Poker Tracker 4 pop-ups are better than the Hold'em Manager 2 ones. I just like how they got like the street by street stats, and I think even though I use Hold'em Manager 2, I might actually just recreate the Poker Tracker 4 pop-ups and just use them in that kind of style or that kind of layout on Hold'em Manager 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the default. So we'll give it a new name. We'll give it OP. We'll call it OP. And we're going to start from scratch. So let's have a look. We'll just delete everything and then just put it all on again so I can show you how to do it. So now we're starting from scratch. Easily we're just pressing add and then add a statistic. Let's have a look. We're going to add like VPIP, pre-flop raise, attempt to steal, fold to steal. And on the second line we're going to have 3-bet, aggression factor, continuation bet flop, and went to showdown. I think that those are the stats I use on my HUD, and I just really like having them stats. I like being able to see them stats all the time, basically. So let's look for VPIP. I found pre-flop, so we'll just put that on first, because we can change it around after. So I'll just take a bit of time putting these on. As regards to all the stats, there is plenty of stats with Poker Tracker 4, but there's nowhere near as many stats as what there is on Hold'em Manager 2. In fact, on Hold'em Manager 2 there's perhaps might be a bit too many, because sometimes it's really difficult to find the stats that you actually need. Although I do prefer having all the stats there available. And also with Hold'em Manager 2, if there isn't a stat there that you... If there's a stat that you can't find, you can always create it yourself with Note Caddy. Sorry. So what's the next one? Attempt to steal. Well, fold to steal's there, we're putting that on. Attempt to steal, there we go, and then we're going to add another line. There we go, so we're on to the second line now, so we click on this one, add a statistic. We're still in pre-flop because we're going to be adding a 3-bet standard statistic. Now we want aggression factor, which is in, let me think, comprehensive, total aggression factor, or you can have aggression frequency. Oops. Add statistic. Continuation bet flop is in bets. Went to showdown there finally. So yeah, if you want to change a stat around, quite easy, just drag and drop. And also you need to add the note editor as well, which is just here. We normally have that top left on the notes. So that's pretty much it. That's how easy and quickly it is, how quick it is and how easy it is to create a simple HUD using this Poker Tracker 4. I'll just go through some of the ways that you can choose different styles, and I like how you can actually see the hood here, so you can see it all changing. So yeah, background can be changed like that. So we've got a green background now. You can change the opacity here with the slider. Really simple. You can make it so that when it fades, and then when you roll the mouse over, it becomes like more pronounced or more prominent. So that's quite cool. Let's have a look at some of the colour ranges. So if you want to style each individual statistic, we clicked on VPIP there, and then we can just go here and choose a different colour for the text, and as you can see it's changed there. Or alternatively, you can customize the text here according to what kind of range of stats you've got going. So let's say we're doing the VPIP now, so we're going to add a color range. So we're going to say VPIP minimum 0 to 20. It's fairly tight, and I always use like a red stat for a tight range. Obviously 20 is actually, now I'll change that. Change it to 15. 15 is definitely pretty tight for 6 max. And then we just add another one. We're going to go minimum 15 to about 30. That's kind of fairly standard, I would say. So I usually use a white stat for a standard stat. Very similar to what I've done on the Hold'em Ready 2 video. And minimum 30 to maximum 100 VPIP. And I would change that to green because that's really loose. Or fairly loose. And I'll go through that. Obviously you can do that with all of them with VPIP. Let's just do one more VPIP. No, I mean preflop raise, sorry. So we're going to add a colour range to preflop raise now. So let's say minimum, 10, red for a fairly nitty. Another one, minimum, maximum 20, it's fairly standard. And then we've got the loose range. Change it to 25. There you go. And you can perhaps go through all of these. Fold to steel, change that. Attempt to steel, change the colour ranges, so that when you're actually in game, you can just pretty much tell by the actual colour of the stat if you're playing too loose. And it'll make you more aware of when players are playing outside the optimal ranges. Okay, so what else can I show you? Yeah, so we'll go back to the properties. So for VPIP, we can also assign the pop-ups now. And also you can add a decimal to it as well, to some of these stats. For instance, 3-bet preflop, I normally add like 1 decimal to it. Especially when you're up against a super tight player. If you see that they're like 3-betting 2.6%, you can really narrow the range down just by putting 2.6% in a poker stove or something like that. So let's have a look. That's got a 10s plus, which probably wouldn't be like that, would it? It'd be more like this. Look, 2.6%. If you've seen somebody 3-bet and 3-betting 2.6% and they've also shown down ace king, then you can be pretty certain that the 3-betting this type of range. So I kind of like having a decimal point just for something like 3-bet and 4-bet stats and stuff like that. For the rest of the stats, it doesn't really matter about it. Decimal place, as it were. And then here is where you would assign a pop-up. So you click on that and then click on the drop-down menu, and these are all the pre-made pop-ups that come with Poker Tracker 4. And so then you just choose one of them. And that's how easy it is, basically, to to create a pop-up, assign a pop-up to a stat. Just one last thing, if you're actually wanting to start making your own pop-ups, they're just as easy as making a HUD, but obviously you're going to need more information on there for most of the pop-ups. I expect you will. And you basically just click on pop-up groups. These are all the ones that's already been made. It's really self-explanatory. I mean, on the Holder Manager 2 video, I did show you how to make a pop-up, because making the pop-up was a little bit different to actually making a heads-up display. Whereas on here, making the pop-up is exactly the same as making heads-up display, except you click on pop-up groups here, and then you just click new group, and it gives it a name of stat group 9. That can be changed, and then you just basically add all the stats to it here, and then you can change the name here and stuff like that, and it's going to save it all for you. And then once you've created the pop-up yourself, when you go back to your table groups, when you go back to your actual pop-up stats here, you'll be able to click on pre-flop raise or whatever, and when you click on the drop-down menu, there the stat group 9 is already there, look, as you can see, even though I didn't add anything to it. So that's how easy it is to actually create your own pop-up. Although, like I said, the pop-ups that you get actually with this Poker Tracker 4 software are all really excellent anyway, so I haven't really felt the need to actually create any pop-ups, but I'm sure if you use it extensively in that, you might find something else, some other way in which you can actually improve the original pop-ups as well, because you'll just be able to duplicate a pop-up, I believe, and then just add some stuff to it. So yeah, that's I'm just going to call that a video there, because it's just a right nice simple video showing you how to create a pop-up and maybe a chance to figure everything out yourself. Well, hopefully this means you'll be able to figure everything out a little bit quicker. So yeah, this is John, Outstanding Poker. Good luck at the tables, everybody.